Ahlers fans, Zach here alongside Chris Schutz, as we were just talking a little bit before we got going. Both of us from around the same area. You're from Keller, Texas, I'm from Colleyville, literally border each other in some parts. And, not a lot of people think about DFW as a hockey hotbed, but it's definitely becoming one. And what got you into playing hockey? Was it, parent, or was it watching the Stars? What was it?
Yeah, so I have an older brother. It's actually funny. A lot of people start out in Texas playing roller hockey.
Right.
I used to live in a cul-de-sac in Fort Worth, Texas, and a couple of our neighbors, they played street hockey, and my brother and I were really young, but we usually just watched them as fans a little bit, from afar, and they're finally just like, hey, you guys want to play? Like, we have extra sticks. So we kind of got in it that way. We told our parents. They went to like academy or played against sports and just bought us equipment, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. And so when you started playing, I mean, did you kind of have the goal of eventually becoming a pro player? Was this, something that happened, and especially because there really wasn't too many, before, your generation, really no pro players coming out of Texas. And then, there's dozens of them all at once. Was that really something that you thought was a possibility when you were younger, or did it kind of come as a surprise?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I didn't really think of that. I was kind of
Right.
I just loved playing. But I
Right.
think, as I got older, once I started traveling too, I started realizing like that could be a good possibility. So definitely when I was younger, like I think most kids my age in Texas don't really think of that yet.
Right.
But yeah, once you start playing competition, across the country, especially the Northeast, you start getting an idea for it.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the Northeast, you played at Lowell. What brought you there? From Texas, did they recruit you pretty heavily coming out, or did it just kind of end up as the spot you landed at?
Yeah, it just kind of ended up with the spot I landed at. I really wanted to play Division I hockey.
Mhm.
Definitely in that conference too. That was my main goal. So it was
Right.
nice to achieve that. But yeah, the competition was definitely a step up from what I was used to in Texas.
With all these things you talked about, your brother, maybe flipping things a little bit, still in the hockey vein, but kind of just growing up. What was it like having a brother the same age as you, or similar age, obviously, growing up? And obviously, he's not playing pro now, but I believe I looked at Elite Prospects. He played juniors for a little bit, so obviously a good player. What was it like playing with him growing up? Did you learn a lot from him, or was he learning from you?
Nah, he's 4 years older than me, so it's actually pretty good because luckily I was able to learn from his mistakes in his career, which helped me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he just really pushed me. He was definitely always bigger in size too, so I was able to play up in competition against him. And we just used to play for hours outside in our
Yeah.
street. So obviously, like playing it in practice is great, but I think where I learned most of my skill set is definitely just from playing so many hours after practice on my cul-de-sac.
Right. And with a last name like Shoots, right? You guys were pretty destined for it, huh? Uh,
Yeah, it definitely works.
Now, did you, we mentioned you're from Keller. Did you go to Keller High, or did you go to Central or Fossil Ridge?
Yeah, I went to Keller High School.
And when you were there, outside of hockey, what did you do in your free time? And did you kind of have any favorite subjects through school?
Um, yeah, I definitely like to fish with my friends. That was really fun. Nothing too crazy, just being from Texas too. Like we traveled probably every other weekend.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, sometimes that part was hard, but, I was so dedicated to it. But, yeah, besides that, I just hung out with friends, just did what everyone else usually did. But yeah, I definitely fished. And the cool thing is too, like I kind of got away from fishing until COVID started. So I kind of
Right.
picked that back up, which is nice.
It's a nice activity to do, right? Like keep yourself away from people and just think while you're out there. It's always kind of a nice way to break it up. I know you might want to talk to Murr a little bit about that. I know he's a pretty big fisher, him and Zachary both. So maybe you guys can cast a couple lines out sometime this season.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe.